All right, welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody had a chance to recharge during the break. I'm Mike Stahala, Regional Vice President for U.S. National Security for Salesforce National Security. Salesforce National Security, a wholly owned subsidiary of Salesforce, is dedicated to our national security customers. We empower the U.S. intelligence community, defense, and industrial-based customers to meet their unique mission needs and requirements through true commercial cloud platform and software as a service enterprise solutions that are air-gapped and accredited to meet the unique requirements of U.S. national security. Our solutions provide secure, compliant, agile, and innovative technology that supports the critical work of intelligence and defense professionals, providing them the capability they need on whichever fabric the mission takes them. I'm excited to introduce our next segment, Ignite Rounds. These short TED-style talks offer sharp, compelling takes on how emerging technologies can shape the future of national security. Our speakers bring a range of experiences and perspectives, and I'm looking forward to hearing how they're driving innovation across the community. To lead us through these conversations, I'm pleased to introduce our moderator, Bishop Garrison. Bishop is INSA's Vice President for Policy, a seasoned national security executive, a U.S. Army veteran. His career spans more than 2 decades with leadership roles in the military, presidential administration and campaigns, nonprofits, and the private sector. Please join me in welcoming Bishop Garrison to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. First and foremost, I want to take a quick moment as we get settled here to thank our team here at INSA who just have done a phenomenal job in bringing this together. We're talking about a group of a little over 300 folks that registered today, and with Toya, Ali, Peggy, who you've seen moving around the room constantly, all of our interns and our leadership. I just want to personally thank all of them for their hard work and dedication to bringing these types of events together. And to that end, and again, thank you, Mike, and again, thank you to Salesforce and all of our tremendous sponsors for today's event. To that end, we have an incredible line of speakers that are coming up. You didn't come here to hear from me, you came here to hear from them. So, with no further ado, to kick things off, please welcome Rachel Grunspan, DDI Futures at the CIA's Directorate of Digital Innovations. Rachel will address human-machine teaming for intelligence, a glimpse into the future. Rachel, the floor is yours.
All right. Can everyone hear me? Oh, I got to get my water here. Okay. Thanks. I'm happy to be here today to talk about human-machine teaming for intelligence and talk about all the possibilities that lie ahead for us, especially as we're approaching the age of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, because if it is realized, it will truly revolutionize the intelligence profession. So when we talk about human-machine teaming for intelligence, or just human-machine teaming in general, we tend to talk about it as part of kind of 2 big categories. You've got the technology, and you've got the data, and then you've got the governance frameworks, you've got the ethics, you've got the security, you've got the policies at the other end. What doesn't get as much of a discussion, though, is getting a clearer understanding of what the actual engagement and the collaboration looks like between the human and the conversational AI and how that actually is going to work. That includes thinking through things like how a team like that would fit into the traditional intelligence cycle or not, and that it may be a building block to a much larger system that's going to take place when these things go at scale. All right, first let's level set, though, a little bit for why a human-machine intelligence team could be such a game changer for the larger national security community, let alone our officers. So the theory, and this is not going to be a surprise because we've been talking about this, You're going to have an AI and you're going to have a human that will be able to contribute to mission in ways that far exceed what either one of them could do alone. This tends to take on even more meaning when you're talking about customizing AIs with specific tradecraft or specific expertise, and then also personalizing AIs so that they are complementing the unique needs of individual officers, whether it's their judgment, their temperament, who they work best with. Possibilities are really interesting. So you end up with a team that has kind of a brain power where you have the judgment, the expertise, the intuition of a human combined with the precision and the speed and the more expansive cognitive capabilities of an AI. All right, so let's build on that image of just that one single team. So imagine a vast network of these teams. They're interconnected as part of a larger persistent system. They're intertwined. Each human-machine team in the system, though, has its own expertise or its own domain information, its own tradecraft, its own mission, but it's operating largely independent within this larger entwined system, okay? As these teams go about their work, the system is aggregating and analyzing all of the knowledge that's being created across these teams so that they can all benefit from them. So the output that happens as it's all being collected, it gets pushed back out to the teams across the system, and you have kind of a very fast feedback loop, endless feedback loops of information that continues to build and refine on itself. What results from this, we're actually talking about a new type of intelligence potentially that we haven't seen before. We're talking about potentially creating output called emergent intelligence, or EI, and it has the potential to really revolutionize and enhance mission in ways that it hasn't before. We see this as largely being enabled by the convergence of three things. There's many, but I'll give you three. One, you have these human-machine teams. Two, you have enormous quantities of data, many more varieties, whether it's from sensors, whether it's from synthetic data. Again, data. It's just going to continue to get more diverse and larger. And then you have these feedback loops that are kind of integrated everywhere. All right, so not a comprehensive list, but there are a few things that have to happen in order for this all to become true, right? I'll mention a few of them. Some of them are in our control, some are not, but you can see hints of this now in various places. And I need a drink of water, sorry. Okay, first, you have to be able to figure out how to thoughtfully pair intelligence officers with AI and AI with intelligence officers so that each side is able to maximize the contributions of either one so that they come together, greater whole. Second thing, we need to make sure that the environments in which these human-machine teams are operating is rich with detail, rich with information about the dynamic nature of the world, whether it's in these immersive virtual environments or otherwise, and that includes making sure that there are representations of people, places, objects, interactions, you name it. They need to be able to interact in an environment that's going to help them better understand the world that they're going to have to move out into. Okay. All right, second, much of the technology that would enable this actually still has to mature, right? It needs to become more accessible. It needs to become more persistent. It needs to become easier to use. And I'll name a couple of them. One of them is something called large world models, or LWMs if you haven't heard of them. These are able to kind of enhance and maximize the amount of dynamic information that's representing the world. It's a really exciting area. And that's actually what I was referring to earlier when I mentioned the virtual immersive environments the HMTs would operate in. Second, reasoning models. So these are specialized models that tend to solve problems, and work through concepts that are very similar to how a human would use critical thinking to come to some conclusions, right? So when you take reasoning models and you pair them with human officers, you have the potential for ideation and problem solving that could far exceed what we have today and might enable you to enhance mission or not, depending upon which side you're referring to. I'm thinking back to the last panel because I'm still freaked out by it. Yeah, anyway, so there's a lot of interesting possibilities there. And then finally, we need the seamless integration of agentic AI, right? It's autonomous, it can make decisions in complex environments, it can take actions. It's gonna be an integral part of this, and I know that's something that probably most of you in this room are pretty well versed in. Okay. At the end of the day, though, what does this all mean for intelligence organizations, especially those that all of us in the room are concerned about? So if the strategic outcome that we're all going for is to create intelligence that is truly, truly novel, truly unique, and most importantly, actionable for mission persistently and adaptively and in real time, then the strategic goal is to build a capability that can do it better than anyone else. The bottom line is that the payoff for organizations that really are willing to reimagine or redo, whatever you want to call it, reimagine their own operating models around the possibilities of AI, in particular, optimizing human AI teams, human AI collaboration, potentially will be the ability to outthink and out-strategize their peers and adversaries across many, if not all, domains. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It's a terrific start to this session. Next up, we're going to have Dr. William Corvey, a program manager at DARPA, who will discuss the power of prototypes. Dr. Corvey.
I want to talk to you today about the power of prototypes. Tom and David Kelly of the consulting firm IDEO are attributed as being the first to have said, quote, "If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a prototype is worth 1,000 meetings." Working examples of technology change can cut through potential noise and misunderstanding and can immediately show whether a work in progress could be a viable solution. But today I want to focus on another aspect of prototypes that make them so appealing as vehicles for transition of fundamental research: the breadth of software components that they generate during their development. We can conceptualize the stages of software research and development perhaps as the instantiation first of algorithms into libraries, which are then composed into applications and then workflows, and ultimately into user experiences that become prototypes, which are themselves the basis of potential future capabilities. Under an appropriate research architecture for collaboration, each of these steps along the way can serve as a little bridge over the proverbial valley of death. Whether that valley exists primarily due to a funding constraint, such as timing or adequacy, a mismatch in software maturity versus a mission use case, or a gap in staffing or in training. I'll tell a few war stories from our DARPA program portfolio to show what I mean. A particularly notable example of an effort in prototyping has occurred under DARPA's flagship effort addressing manipulated and synthetic media, the Semantic Forensics, or SEMAPHORE program. The program's overall goal was to detect inauthentic media no matter how it was created, to uncover the processes of manipulation at play, and to say something actionable about the intent behind that manipulation. And to do this across all the modalities of online information, whether text, audio, video, or image. And to show the findings in a user interface, allowing for coherent triage, even in the face of complex or ambiguous analytic findings. Practically speaking, the goal was to provide a force multiplier functionality for multimedia forensic analysts, and this goal was achieved to the point of facilitating collaboration with multiple government partners, as well as spinning out commercialization opportunities and broader sustaining collaborations in the nonprofit space, such as with UL Digital Safety Research Institute. However, perhaps the greatest strength of the SEMAPHORE prototype has been not simply its analytic coherence, but its ability to be decomposed. Over the 4 years of the program, around 200 often GPU-intensive analytics were developed to the point of being exercised in the program's evaluation pipeline, making them eligible to appear in an analyst workflow. But given current compute constraints, no analyst workflow will ever run that many analytics. Additionally, with new generative AI models entering the marketplace on a regular basis, the number of analytics will only grow. Therefore, a plug-and-play architecture compiled at the level of cloud computation all the way down to a standalone laptop has become an essential tool for software integration. Modularity also overcomes gradations in algorithmic maturity, as transition partners can activate, deactivate, and substitute analytics dynamically. Finally, due to the complexity of multimedia forensic workflows, relatively few of the final user experience requirements could have been foreseen without extensive user interaction. The ability to present results to the analyst repeatedly has been key to maintaining both technical progress and collaborative momentum. If DARPA Semaphore has been a study in prototyping through transition, DARPA's Kairos, or Knowledge-Directed Artificial Intelligence Reasoning Over Schemas program, has been an exercise in tractable technology extension over years of integrative joint development. As an event recognition and forecasting program, the core insight of Kairos is that the order of events that we observe in the world is not coincidental. Event progressions follow branches of potential realities, and uncertainty about future events is reduced as the timeline along a single branch progresses. Computationally, the data structure along which we observe reality is a graph, and the research output of the Kairos program has been a set of technologies for imagining or inducing canonical event graphs or schemas, which we then try to match against observed reality in order to postulate what might happen in the future. The generality of this approach lends itself to many end-user applications, and additionally, as multimedia semantic technologies from multilingual understanding to computer vision have matured and become ubiquitous in the research community, Kairos-like forecasting approaches can increasingly apply to the whole of the online news cycle. The question is how to interact with these schema technologies. Unlike in Semaphore, where one user interface encompassed a number of algorithmic approaches, in Kairos, a single algorithmic paradigm affords numerous user interfaces. Among the most prominent and enduring of these has been SmartBook, an AI-assisted situation awareness report generation tool informed by collaboration under Kairos, as well as ongoing additional inputs from Army Research Lab and MITRE. Each section of the situation report responds to a question by finding answers, called claims, in multilingual news sources and providing the source and the context of the claim. This interface also produces an abstractive summary of each chapter, which is composed by an LLM, where every point made in the summary contains citations to the claim sentences and thereby the source documents. This workflow overcomes well-known hallucination problem in the LLM text generation while simultaneously informing the LLM output through GraphRag with all the relevant facts. The question answering, claim extraction, and summarization functionalities all rely on Kairos knowledge graphs for their grounding and could easily be integrated into alternative workflows such as LLM dialogue agents. Additionally, a separate but compatible interface allows for efficient editing of the underlying knowledge graphs, rapidly tuning the system's interfaces to match those of domain subject matter experts. Interfaces have also been developed to visualize the progression of events, creating the basis of forecasting capabilities. In this case, the portability of the modeling framework allows for a simple extension and integration into additional applications fitting a myriad of user workflows. From even these brief anecdotes concerning aspects of two fundamental research programs, we can sense a broader theme, that adaptive application delivery is central to a transition strategy for capabilities in the modern information domain. The power of prototypes, perhaps most specifically pushing forward the findings of early applied research, is a path of accumulative agile software development. Deliver early, deliver often, deliver decompositionally, and ultimately plan to deliver everything you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Corvey. And I mentioned this briefly earlier. We have a tremendous cohort of interns who have been working diligently to help bring this together and make today a reality. We live in a very dynamic time right now, historically, and they are going to be graduating later this summer. So we ask that you take an opportunity, introduce yourselves, have a conversation with them as they're trying to figure out their next steps in their career, and we want to do everything we can to keep this top-level talent within the IC. So it's really important to us, and I just want to thank them again. With that, to close us out, we have Yolanda Reid, an associate partner at IBM, who will discuss quantum is inevitable, surprise is not. Yolanda?
Thank you. I'm going to start with a question. Do you remember how you felt the week of November 30th, 2022? What happened around November 30th, 2022? There you go. I was in a Uber, and I was going to my job in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And my Uber driver knew where I was being dropped off at BBN Technology, and he said, "You must be smart. Can you ask me an engineering question? I'm going to put it in this nifty little app that I just downloaded for free, and I'm going to answer you, and you're going to think I went to college." I was surprised because I was in my research program. I'm studying AI. I'm trying to figure out how to do AI adoption for aerospace and defense industry. I'm working in our research and development company, and this Uber driver just told me Gen AI is here. It came early. It came 2 years early. We were smart. We knew it was coming, but we didn't know when it was coming. It surprised us. So we're smart, and we know quantum is coming. And if you didn't know quantum's coming, I'm telling you right now, quantum is coming. And this is your call to action in this room. Do not get surprised by quantum. My hope is that you will leave this room and you'll go get prepared today if you haven't started, because we don't want to find out in our community that quantum advantage has arrived after an adversarial attack on us. If you go to Google and you go do some searches, you will already see, they have the pre-populated questions, how people are asking, will quantum be able to do a lot of evil acts? People are preparing to use quantum, and the question is, are we? The threat is real, and I really would say the real threat is ourselves. We're kind of paused. I have talked to a lot of clients in our community, and when you say quantum safe or quantum ready, they ask, why do I care about quantum? I'm not using quantum. And it scares me. So I'm telling you right now that our data in our community is not protected if you haven't started working on quantum safety. Right now, our adversaries are very active and bold enough to tell us that they are stealing our data and they're storing it. And they know that they can't decrypt it now because RSA is amazing and incredible, and we depended so much on it, but they know with quantum advantage, they will be able to decrypt it. So our data that's being stolen, there's some things we do want to keep a secret 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, and it's stolen. And they're continuing to steal the data. They're stealing it while I'm speaking. And when quantum advantage comes, some experts say what we got used to would take lifetimes to decrypt will be decrypted in 1 year. Some say a couple of months, and some even are bold enough to say hours. We don't know, because we don't know who's coming first. So we need to start now. We need to decrypt now. If you haven't heard the phrase, steal now, decrypt later, it is an active campaign happening. And quantum is no longer a research project. It is a cybersecurity, an enterprise IT, a business, and a mission risk issue, and we should treat it as such. Many things prevent our community from moving forward. Usually, it's the threat. We don't know the threat. We find out the threat, we're going after the bad guy. We know the threat. And sometimes it is we need guidance. We know the threat, but what can we do? September 2022, NSA released CNSA 2.0 that said that national security systems need to be ready for quantum by 2035. but strongly encouraged us to start early. Fast forward, March 4th, 2025, just recently, CNSS Policy 15 changed the language to say immediate readiness. What has happened in 3 years? Technology. We love it. We love technology. That's our strength. Our systems are faster. Our clouds are better. We have AI accelerating everything. And then we have investors all over the globe that are also investing in quantum, and they're not all in this country. So do not leave this room thinking you have plenty of time to prepare. We are late. I hate to say that our community is late, but while we are waiting on a formal acquisition process, which we know how long that takes, we're late, we're vulnerable, and we're unprepared. So, to avoid the Washington Post test, we need to work with our leaders in government and in industry and make sure they understand our risk profile is escalating. And we need to develop our plan. The good news, I don't like to be gloom and doom. The good news is NIST started in 2016 with a bake-off, and we have algorithms that are quantum resistant right now. The bad news is that with any upgrade to any of our systems, especially legacy systems that we put Band-Aids on for decades, when you upgrade them, things break. So we need to start putting our plan together. We need to put a plan together of how every agency, every vendor, every company, and every entity in our supply chain is going to upgrade to quantum safety. But I have seen the movement, primarily in the EMEA theater and in finance, and I can say quantum safety is achievable with a plan. And this is my recommendation. There's 5 steps. Everybody likes 3 or 5. And there's 5 steps that I recommend. Step 1 is identify what you have, your cryptography. And it takes a lot of time to think through it. Crypto is everywhere. We got very used to our stuff being secure. So our apps, our networks, our identity management, our PKI, our certificates, our hardware, they all have cryptography, and we need to upgrade them all. Step 2, we need to put this plan together and schedule it. What can we do now? What can we do later? There's a top-bottom approach, there's a bottom-down approach, there's a hybrid, there's a mission-critical first approach. Whatever makes sense for you, wherever you are, we need to put the plan together and schedule it. Transition, just be mindful. Transition will be not fun. It will be slow. Be prepared for breaks. When we get to quantum safety and we have all the algorithms installed, it will go slower than what we're used to. But with the risk, that's okay. Step 4 is educate your workforce on crypto agility. So we're not doing this one time and we're done. This is not like Y2K, where we just check the box one time, because what's going to happen is that quantum is going to get better. So we're just preparing for when it comes on the scene, but it's going to get better and better, and we need to update step 5, our processes and procedures, for we can stay secure as a community. The process will take a village. There is no one company that can do this. If they said it, remember what I told you, no company, I talked to them all. It will take years, many years, to upgrade to quantum safety. Think about it. Everything I listed, your keys, PKI, your networks, apps, everything we grew in-house and thought that was a great idea, our hardware, our chips, everything will need to be upgraded. Start buying quantum safe products. Start doing it now. They're available. Our iPhone is quantum safe. And then encourage levying quantum safe requirements on new acquisitions and our supply chains and our partnerships start now. Because every opportunity that you get to upgrade to quantum safe responsibly, do it now. And there's help. Like I said, no one company can do this alone as a village. IBM, InfoSec Global, Thales, Sandbox AQ, Keyfactor, NIST, all the cloud providers, and so many others. They all have expertise in a part of the picture. It's a very big picture. No one's journey will be the same. And if you don't know where to start, you can call me. It's just most important just to start. And I also found that when people started and they thought that they can do it on their own and they brought in the third party just to validate their results, they were always surprised by what vulnerabilities that they had that they were unaware of. So don't be afraid to get help. Post-quantum safety is going to improve all our security posture, and it's going to reduce our risk. Although quantum might be a threat, it is also going to be amazing. It's going to shape our society. If you're not using quantum, but our adversaries are, we will see a shift in power. So I encourage you to start playing with quantum labs. There are a lot of things online that you can play with for short periods of trial times, or your company can sign up to do use cases. You can't defend what you don't know. But more importantly, develop the use cases for your toughest problems to be handled with quantum and AI together. Insider threat, biothreat, cybersecurity, warfighting, and battleground assessments, they're all great quantum candidates. Now, quantum predictions range all over the place between all these different experts. But in 2025, many experts are kind of coming to the same conclusion. Quantum advantage can be here between 2027 and 2029. So we don't have any time to prepare. Two things I know. As we learn from ChatGPT, the first to market wins. There are a lot of global companies competing to be first right now. They want to surprise us. So we need to be prepared because it's happening soon. And second, if quantum surprises us like ChatGPT, the consequences are going to be harder to live with. Do not get surprised by quantum. This is America. This is RIC. We should lead to choose how to lead quantum. Thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda, and thank you to all of our speakers for sharing such fascinating perspectives. Now we'll go ahead and break for lunch.